watching PowerNation. Today on Music City Trucks, we'll install our engine, transmission, and transfer case, head back to Blast from the Past, plus get a professional cut and buff from the guys at Sonax. But first, in honor of our Seafoam sponsored Bronco, our special guests will talk about the Warrior's Heart Foundation and its mission, and we'll touch on how all the auction proceeds will go directly to its cause.
Welcome to Music City Trucks. I'm Brandon Burke.
And I'm Mark Christ, and we've got an exciting show for you today. As you can tell, we're back on our 1974 Bronco project here. We just recently got it all painted up nice, and it's time to start reassembly, which is very exciting. We're gonna start stabbing some things in the engine bay, inside the truck as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun, but before we can get to that, we've got some very distinguished guests here with us.
Yeah, we got two veterans deeply rooted in our Bronco project, Tom Spooner and Jamie Caldwell. So glad you guys are here.
Man, thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is great. We're honored to be here and honored to be a part of this project. You know, Tom and I go way back, lots of time in the military together, lots of deployments together, and now in our afterlife, you know, my ties with Seafoam and Black Rifle Coffee, and then, you know, getting to go down to Warrior's Heart and visit Tom and be a part of this project. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, so like Jamie said, just all the time that we spent together, and then now in our, I guess we call it our post-retirement afterlife, you know, I'm very involved in one of the founders of Warrior's Heart, and you know, which is the inspiration from this whole build.
Me and Mark are so proud to be building this truck, and we've been putting long hours because we want this truck to represent Warrior's Heart, and hopefully
it's absolutely coming along that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I mean, when this thing is sitting on the auction block, one, whoever wins it, whoever gets it is going to be, you know, an unbelievable vehicle to have. But the background behind it and what really gets me is, you know, I visited Warrior's Heart and I've been down there and I've taken guys fishing, and to see what happens down there and to know that all the proceeds from this whole project, this great build, is going to go to help numerous guys and get them back, you know, on their feet, some of them off the street, you know, but just get them right. And it's just, I mean, it's amazing. You know, you can't even believe what you guys are doing, what everybody involved is doing. I mean, you can't put a price on it, but it is literally going to save guys' lives.
And it absolutely will through the foundation. Every dollar goes towards a human being. You know, it's not one of those things for awareness or this and that. It's like, that's how you get involved, is by helping other human beings. That's why we're all doing what we're doing, and that's how the viewers and everyone else will be able to get involved with the auction. So it's just an incredible deal.
Yeah, and that's something else too for our viewers, Tom,
yeah,
that aren't familiar with Warrior's Heart Foundation.
Yeah.
Could you describe it briefly?
Yeah, so Warrior's Heart Foundation, the meat and potatoes of it is it subsidizes treatment costs for our veterans and our first responders, so our protectors. You know, those professions, they're pretty tough, you know, and a lot of our protectors, you know, from 9/11 to a 911 call, you know, they get beat up pretty good and get banged up, and some of them begin to self-medicate, and it just end up in a bad spot. And so Warrior's Heart Foundation subsidizes those treatment costs to get assistance that they need. It also helps educate the local community there around Bandera, Texas, and it also helps fund canines for folks that, you know, need service animals.
And you guys have had almost 2,000 people come through now?
Yeah, so at Warrior's Heart, we've had 2,000 warriors come through since we started in 2016. You know, and none of that is possible without the you know, the American people supporting our protectors along the way. So, like Jamie had mentioned, you know, we got all walks of life from folks that, you know, really on the bottom, you know, coming from homeless, all the way that, hey, they just need a little assistance along the way. So it's we're just grateful to be able to provide, you know what I mean, that support to those that support all of us and all of our families and all of our communities in our country. It's just kind of it just makes sense, you know.
Well, thank you guys both for your service, and thank you for stepping up and creating such an awesome organization. And we're really honored, like Brandon said, to to be part of this whole project to help out.
Absolutely.
So not only is this Bronco being sold at Mecum Auctions with the proceeds going to Warriors Heart Foundation, but we also have a 2021 Bronco that you could win. So just go to our website, PowerNationTV.com, to find out more. We're going to get started building this truck, and we'll see you guys hopefully at Mecum.
That
Definitely.
sounds good.
That'd be excellent. We'd love to be there. Thank you guys
very
very
much.
much. Yeah, very nice to
Really
meet you.
appreciate it.
Thank you
Nice
for
to meet you
everything.
too. Yes,
Now
absolutely.
y'all can finally get back to work.
Yeah.
Up next, we Cerakote the headers, powder coat the roll bar, and bedline the tub. Where you want it?
Probably right there.
All right, I gotta run.
All right. Well, we got the Bronco pretty much stripped out and getting it ready for bedliner. It's pretty much the same process as doing the underside, a bunch of masking and sanding. So all there is get to it.
All right, going up. Well, we're here at Blast from the Past. Of course, this is where we brought our frame to have it powder coated. We've got some other things like our roll cage we want to get coated and some miscellaneous things here. One of the things we want to point out, you might have noticed back at the shop, we had all the suspension tore back out from underneath the truck, which we kind of didn't want to do, but we felt like it was a little too much turquoise. Once we got the paint spray and everything back under there, it was just really too much. So this is already powder coated, so this doesn't have to get blasted like that roll cage does. So this stuff will go right into the powder coat oven and get coated up nicely, along with some other miscellaneous things we have. Our first order of business is to get everything blasted and prepped for coating. Now normally when we come here to Blast from the Past, we get things powder coated. Well, we are doing that, but we're also going to do something special today. That's going to be for our headers, and that's something called Cerakote. Now that's a ceramic coating, and a lot of times you hear about headers that come ceramic coated. There's a reason for this. It's a high temperature coating, so it's not going to discolor once the exhaust goes through its heat cycle. Not only that, it's going to look really nice. Cerakote is an innovator in ceramic-based coatings, which can be used for a lot of different applications, including trim, chassis and suspension parts, and engine components like our headers. Now, Cerakote offers several different lines of ceramic coating, but what we chose is the Glacier series, and what's cool about that is you don't have to bake it. Once you spray it on, you let it air dry, and then it's basically done after that. So we're gonna let this dry a little bit. Those will be ready to go. Well, last time we were here, we had our frame coated with that black color, and I mentioned that Prismatic has over 6,500 different custom colors. So we actually picked one of those ourselves, and that is what they call almond white, and it's a really close, exact really match to our Wimbledon white. That's gonna be our accent color on our Bronco here. So we got some of these components that need to be really durable, like the roll cage and our spare tire carrier here that we got from James Duff. Along with all that stuff that was turquoise that we decided was too much turquoise, guess what? Those are all gonna be that white color too. Now it's time to move on to the powder. As beautiful as that turquoise is, we can't go wrong with this prismatic almond white powder coat. Well, this stuff looks really amazing. It's all baked on now, all that prismatic powder coat. We've got the cage done and we got the Cerakote on the headers. This stuff needs to cool a little bit and then we can take it back to the shop, start reassembling.
All right, well, we got the inside of the truck prepped and masked off, even got it all seam sealed, so we're ready for bedliner. Now the kit we're gonna be using, we got from Summit Racing. It's a SEM rocket kit, so you could brush it on, roll it on, or even spray it on. It comes with the gun, so that's what we're gonna be doing. Now the cool part about this kit is it's tintable, so you can put your base coat, so you can match the outside or whatever color you want. All you gotta do is mix it in the right ratios and you're ready to go.
Now when applying this bedliner, you might want to take your time, using light coats and with 15-minute flash times in between, because if you put it on too thick, it will run. And that's no bueno. As you can see, the second coat really makes this color pop. And it also shows one of the reasons why we decided the suspension made for too much turquoise. And hey, we like turquoise.
Next, the guys from Sonax are here to give our Bronco that ultimate mirror-like finish.
Well, as ready as I am to start assembly here with our Bronco and start getting the drivetrain installed and everything, we can't do that quite yet because there's one major thing that we want to get done before we do that. We want to get this beautiful turquoise paint finished off really nice with a slick shine. And to help us do that, we've got Cole here and Jason from Sonax. Guys, thank you so much for coming in to help.
Thanks for having us, Mark. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited to be here. We're getting this truck ready for SEMA, as everybody knows. And to do that, we have to use the Sonax polishes and compounds to get this to a mirror-like shine and finish. But first off, to get us ready for that, we have to wet sand.
All right, well, let's get cranking. When you look really closely at the paint surface, which sometimes requires using a light, you can start to see the imperfections and the rough surface, which we call orange peel. That's when you can get a rough idea of how much work it will take to get to the finished product.
So the whole point of wet sanding is, yes, the paint is already shiny, but if you look close at it, you can kind of see what we call orange peel. And if you look at the orange peel, it's kind of a dimply, it's a smooth surface, but it's kind of dimply. The whole point of wet sanding, it gets out the trash that might be in the paint, and it also smooths out that orange peel to give you a true mirror-like, smooth, slick finish.
Sanding can be a tedious process, but it's necessary so we can move on to the compound and polish to ultimately reach that beautiful finish we all want to achieve. Now I've got this fender cut down with 1500 wet. What that did is get rid of all of that orange peel and any of the trash that was in there. It's nice and smooth now. It's not shiny yet, but we'll get to that later. We just need to get the rest of the panels cut down with the same 1500 wet, and then we can go back and start buffing.
Okay, after a long day of sanding the Beach Cruiser Bronco, we came in this morning and noticed there's a few spots that you can see here in the paint that need a little more attention. So we're going to come in today, hit it with a little more aggressive sandpaper and get it smooth that you can see here on the right side. So we basically want these to look identical.
It doesn't matter the color of the paint, dark or light, the orange peel will be there. And here we have a chance to really make our top color pop.
All right, so what we've done is we've wet sanded the vehicle with 1000 grit sandpaper. We're hitting it with a purple wool cutting pad using our Ultimate Cut product. We're then following back up with a step number 2 that'll remove any sanding scratches left behind with Ultimate Cut with a yellow pad and our perfect finished product.
Now you start to see the clarity of the paint coming through with the reflection of Jason's hat, along with everything else, reflecting in the light.
All right, so as you can see, I've used the Ultimate Cut compound to finish the top of the door. We've removed all of our 1200 grit sanding scratches. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove our pad. We're gonna switch to our yellow Sonax medium cutting pad. We're gonna use our perfect finish product. This will remove any micro scratches left behind from the Ultimate Cut, and it'll give us a absolutely brilliant finish.
Well, Jason, Cole, I think you guys did an awesome job on the tub.
You know, we're excited about how it turned out. We can't wait to see it on the floor at SEMA and at the Mecum Auto Auction.
Yeah, I think it's gonna blow people's minds and how nice this truck's gonna be. And I think me and Mark can get the rest of the panels with the techniques and advice you guys showed us, so I think we got it.
We'll leave you some product and turn it over to you guys.
All right, sweet. I think we got the work cut out.
Next, our supercharged Edelbrock engine goes into its home for good.
Rad. Well, if this isn't a rad color combination, I don't know what is. We got the cage in it, we got all the suspension back under it, and I'm gonna say changing the control arms to white was a good decision.
Definitely, yeah. I'm really glad all that paint and body work and cutting and buffing and all that's behind us right now. My voice is cracking. These late nights have really been wearing on me, but we're getting down to the part that's my favorite part of the build, and that's gonna be the nuts and bolts of final assembly. And we've got a special guest here. We've got Mark Campbell with Edelbrock Group. Mark, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Very glad to be here.
Well, obviously, we're going to talk about the Edelbrock Supercharged Coyote crate engine that we've got here that's going in our Bronco and all the components that came with that and some of the other things that have been going on with the Edelbrock Group. So let's start with the engine.
Absolutely. Well, that's the most exciting part for sure. We got our 5-liter supercharged Coyote crate engine here. Pretty exceptional piece. The really cool part about this engine is it's all brand new. I mean, there is not one used part inside of the engine. So you really get a lot of value out of everything that you get here for sure.
Yeah, so this is a package, and this is kind of a premier package as far as crate engines go, right?
Absolutely. This is one of our top of the line engines that we have. Certainly, obviously, one of the more expensive engines, but also one of the most powerful engines that we have. So it starts out with a foundation of a brand new block from Ford, a brand new crankshaft from Ford as well. And then we put some really high-end forged rods and pistons into it to handle all the boost that we're going to put through it. And that's kind of the meat and potatoes of it right there, as our Edelbrock 2650 series supercharger on top that makes all the power.
Now, our Broncos, like you mentioned being a high-end crate engine, our Bronco is a high-end Bronco, but if we were building a Bronco that maybe wasn't going to SEMA or wasn't going to auction, you know, you guys offer other crate engines like we actually considered, the 302, which would be a very obvious choice for an engine like this.
Absolutely. We have a whole gamut of different crate engines for sure, starting out with some basic 300 horsepower small block Chevys and big block Chevrolets and Fords. So yeah, we really have a good cross section no matter what kind of horsepower you're looking for, what kind of budget you have. We pretty much have them all. And they're all in different stages. You can get carbureted, fuel injected, with all the accessories on the front, with just the basic engine. I mean, however you want it, we have all those options.
So we've covered the engine itself, but that's not all that comes with the kit, right? We've got everything here on the table. Let's talk about some of that stuff too.
Yeah, so I mean, the engine comes kind of complete the way you see it here, and then all of this other stuff helps make this thing complete. So we do use a factory Ford ECU. We've reflashed it with the tune specifically for this engine. And then you have the complete wiring harness with everything you need to put this thing together. You're basically putting power and ground and a switched power to this harness. You got all the stuff for the intercooler, the pump, all the hoses. Obviously we got the oil to put in the engine. And kind of a couple different scenarios on airbox. We do have a factory style airbox if you have room for that. Or we do also have a more of a universal kit, which is probably going to be a lot more popular for most installs, especially this one, being that engine space is a little bit limited for sure.
We're at the point now where we're ready to put the engine in, and since you're here, do you want to give us a hand?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I love getting my hands dirty, so let's do it.
This is it.
Careful with the firewall, Mark.
Yeah, I see it right there. Okay, throttle body's gonna get in the way now. We're gonna have to tilt it. We'll tilt it back.
You want me to get under it?
Yeah.
All right. Go down. Go down with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty close too here.
Go down. What was that?
I think it's just the spring.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So it's just sitting on the front cross member.
Yep, that's fine.
So it's fine.
That's fine. Track bar's kicking everything because it's not sitting.
Right. If we can put the motor mount nuts on and just leave them loose.
Yeah,
just so that nothing falls out.
We could do that.
I think it's sliding on this power steering pump, or the AC.
I'm good on the driver. Try it. The block itself looks straight back here. Let's get this header on.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
Say we unstrap it. Declare victory.
I think so.
Well, it's nice having some good help around here for a change.
Hey now.
You act like you've done this before, Mark.
A couple times.
Yeah. What's your background?
Maybe not putting a Coyote in a Bronco.
Right.
But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty awesome vehicle when it's all done.
Well, it was cool having you here. It really was.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now we move on to our transmission and transfer case. We going up?
Yep. You got it started?
Yep, a little bit.
All right. This thing's going in pretty easy. Taking a while.
Ratchet's really cute, Brandon, but well, give it a socket. Got something a little better
like
for you
the
here.
manual labor?
Well, you know, when you've got tools like this, why would you use tools like that? What I love about these impacts, especially this little stubby one, other than the fact that it saves time, is I know I can rely on it. Tight area, big power. This thing's been around forever too.
Bring it down. Seems kind of heavy duty.
It is really heavy.
All right.
All right, let me get the
That's
side.
it.
Well, all the drivetrain's in.
Axles, suspension, bodies on the frame, roll cages in.
All we have to do now is just
Everything else.
put the thing together.
Seats and
Save that for
wiring
next
and
time.
air conditioning,
Plumbing,
and radiator, lights,
trim,
wheels,
tires, brake lines.
fuel system. Not much.